My name is Proxy. I am a survivor who ventured my way to Chernarus while trying to protect my family. While traveling to find salvation with my mom and dad and twin brother, we couldn't help but have some deaths along the way. My brother and I were the hunters and gatherers of our small group. We were 21, healthy, strong, and willing to do anything to keep our family alive. We spent many months like this, my brother and I running ahead to kill any walkers so the pass was safe for our mom and dad. We would spend time in the woods hunting for food, gathering water, or finding anything we could use as weapons. Lucky for us, we were able to find a few weapons along the way. My favorite was a fireman's axe I always carried, as well as a shotgun. My brother had a hunting rifle and knife. My mom and dad both had pistols along with knives, just in case anything happened while my brother and I were up ahead. We were pretty lucky. Usually we never ran into many people, because my brother and I always did our best to keep our group hidden. But there were some situations when this didn't work and we needed to help others. I was the more cautious in our group. I wanted to help all we met along the journey, but I knew it posed a danger to my family. So I took turns with my brother hiding my mom and dad while the other helped the people in need. Sadly, this was our undoing. I remember it so clearly, like a movie burned into my brain. It was a cold autumn morning with dew covering our small tent. I rolled over to check my mom and dad as they were still asleep next to me. Today was Kyle's watch. I knew I could sleep in just a little bit longer and really wanted to because, well, I was slowly starving to death, so I had no energy to move. To keep mom and dad alive, Kyle and I would secretly give them more food portions, more water, more rest, and even better clothing. They needed to survive this. We had to keep them alive for our sanity. It was slowly getting harder and harder to keep ourselves alive, let alone our parents. But we always looked at it like the glass was half full. I remember the hunger that ripped through my stomach as I sat up out of bed. But something suddenly hit me. There was food cooking? I hurried out of the tent, forgetting even to put pants on. I knew I smelled something cooking, so much that my mouth was salivating out of control. I looked around quickly, my eyes adjusting to the sun, and there he was, Kyle, covered in blood, hunched over in front of our fire. I ran to him as fast as I could, grabbing his shoulder. No, this can't be. He can't be dead. Why him? I should have taken his place. All of these things went through my mind so quickly I didn't even have time to scream. I jerked his body to look at me so that I could see the damage. Kyle turned to me with wide eyes and what looked like a steak in his mouth. I instantly dropped to my knees sobbing. I was crying because I thought I had lost him, because I thought I was alone and had to keep my parents alive by myself. Because while I was sleeping, he was murdered. And mostly I was crying because there on the fire were 6 large steaks being cooked. I started laughing with Kyle, who dug into his breakfast. Let them sleep 10 more minutes, he said. We'll wake them when the food's done. It was too good to be true. How was it that today we finally found some food, after Kyle and I had been starving for the last week? I remember asking him how he was able to hunt the deer down by himself and where the body had been left. We didn't want any walkers smelling it and finding us, but he assured me that everything was fine and that we were safe. Of course I trusted him. He was our savior right now. Let me tell you, the steak was amazing. It was a little too rich and chewy, but nonetheless, we gobbled most of it down and saved the rest for later. But there was a little something off about it. I just didn't want to bring it up. For the rest of the day, we happily walked the outskirts of town, following the tree line, trying to stay out of sight. Our spirits were high and our bellies were full. I remember the tears in my mom's eyes as she thanked him for his wonderful surprise this morning, and my dad patting him on the shoulder. A pat of trust. We walked for a few more hours when I remember hearing someone yelling for help. Quickly, Kyle and I pushed our family to the ground and watched the area. I looked at Kyle as he found the person in his sights. There they were, stuck on a ladder with 5 zombies below them. I knew we had to help. We couldn't just leave them there after having such a fortunate morning, and Kyle agreed. It was my turn to help the survivor, and Kyle's turn to hide mom and dad. I waited in my bush for Kyle to give me the go-ahead, and I started sprinting straight for the survivor on the ladder. I'm almost to the man on the ladder when I hear a blood-curdling scream. It was my mom's scream. I turned around, wanting to run back, but I remembered the zombies. I knew they would chase me, so I had to kill them. I knew whatever the problem was, Kyle would take care of it. I turned back to the zombies with my axe raised, but was frozen in spot. 6 men, including the survivor on the ladder, were all pointing their guns at me with smiles on their faces. Then it hit me. It turns out the 5 zombies that were trying to get the survivor were actually bandits. These guys were in a group. I knew what I had to do to stay alive, so I dropped my axe and put my hands on my head. What happened next is something I would never wish on my worst enemy. I was thrown to the ground and handcuffed, a bag placed over my head. I put up no resistance. I had to stay calm to keep my family alive. Or so I thought. I'm dragged through the dirt by my legs, my jacket filling with rocks and my mask filling with dust. But I let it happen. I lay there like a rag doll. When we finally came to a stop, I could hardly even think straight. I just wanted to know what was going on. What was this situation like? How was my family? And why did this happen to us? I heard the bandits talking and laughing like nothing was happening. What monsters! They were no worse than zombies right now. I remember my skin prickled as I heard someone walking towards me. I braced my body for anything that was about to happen, but nothing did. I relaxed for an instant until I could feel the bag being ripped from my head. I opened my eyes wide, again adjusting to the light and blinking away any dust that had rested on my eyelashes. Once my eyes had focused, I took sight of all before me and wished they had just left the bag on my head. There was my family sitting in front of me, with gags in their mouths, looking at me with tears in their eyes. I took a deep breath and I spoke. Please, leave them alone and kill me. Whatever happened is my fault, not the others. Please, just honor my last wish. I'll do anything. Behind me, I heard laughter, and then a shotgun being loaded. I looked my family in the eyes and smiled. Mom, don't go crying now. This is nothing. Stay happy for Kyle. I'm not even gonna feel anything. It'll be over in an instant, I promise. Dad, make sure to stay calm and take Mom far from here with Kyle and keep Kyle away from them. Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Finally, I looked into Kyle's eyes. I could hardly see them from the tears streaming down my own. Kyle, please keep them alive. If any of you follow me, I will haunt you forever. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I love you all so much. I heard the shotgun fire and waited for the pain. But something wasn't right. I was alive. Did they miss from that close? I opened my eyes slowly, my brother a heap of flesh on the floor, a puddle of blood making its way towards me. Before I could move, cry, or scream, my mom was next, and then my dad. My family killed in front of me. These bandits were playing with me, but I was next. The bandit walked towards me and pulled something from my backpack. He unwrapped the object. It was the steak. I was sobbing at this point. If you wanted food, we could have given it to you. All you had to do was ask. Why did you kill us? We're friendly people. We've never done anything to harm you. I screamed as he got down on one knee in front of me. He slowly looked at the steak, a tear falling from his eye. How can a family of cannibals be friendly? This morning we watched your brother kill our men, carve them up, and serve them to you. How can you tell me that was friendly? After that, they knocked me out. I woke up with a splitting headache and a ring in my ears. Dead. They were all dead. And I was alive, but dead inside. I stood up slowly and looked around. I was in a house I had never known, but I was safe for the moment. I walked over to the table that had my axe and bag left on it. I quickly stuck my hand in the bag, hoping to find something that would help me. But my bag was wet. I slowly dropped to my knees sobbing. I quickly started to puke up anything in my stomach. I clutched the bloody steak close to my body as if hugging it. It was the human steak, like the ones Kyle had lied to us and cooked, but the steak was different. It was my family.